Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner, Albert Campman. You know, Al, we have a guy that calls us from time to time on the radio, and I don't ever want to, dampen his spirits.
Right.
Early it was like, well, if we do this, we could make the playoffs.
Notice you said we.
We. Yeah, they all say we. We get a charge out of it, people. The Steelers say, we had them. I'm like, what, no, you're awful small to be out there. But, I get it. It's
right.
fanatic.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is they're not very good.
Yeah, they've really...
Not playing well, however you want to call it.
They've really went down the tubes, no question about it. And we're talking about YSU Penguins getting thrashed by South Dakota, a mediocre team.
And we should make it clear that's not South Dakota
State.
State.
No question. And people do get them mixed up.
Because I mixed them up one week. I'm not how good they were, but the fact that who they were
Just saying
playing.
the state or not saying the state. Well, this is South Dakota, 56-21. They are 4-6 overall. They were 2-3 in the Missouri Valley. They rushed for 327 yards, had a total offense of 507, 35 points at the half. They must have thought they were playing some also-ran. And Georgia said it best. They are. We thought they were going to be a playoff team. We really did, especially after 4-0 start, playing Northern Iowa and South Dakota State off their, playing both really well. George, down the tubes.
You hate to say, but you asked, have they bagged it?
Yeah, I don't know. Since I haven't seen them personally.
I will never say that. I'm just asking.
Yeah, since I've never seen them, I can never say that. I just know they're not playing well. Man, when you're not playing well this time of year, that's the first thought. Where are their heads? Where are their hearts? Well, their heads, first of all, were not there, and I have data for that. Double-digit penalties for triple-digit yards.
Let's talk about that. Because we're going to talk about the Browns later on.
It's the same way.
Same story there.
Yeah.
Everybody questions the leadership. Everybody questions. They say, loose ship. Cowherd refers to it as not being buttoned up. The bottom line is when you get 100-plus yards in penalties, something's wrong.
Yeah, it's a sure sign that the details that you go over during the week are not sinking in. Because I know Bo Pelini knows his football. I saw him win at Nebraska.
Absolutely.
I've seen his family background at Mooney. They know, but it does not what you know. George and I have coached 60 years. We know a lot. We've had guys play for us that you watch their teams play. They don't look anything like our teams.
No.
And so it's not what we say. It's what they do. And that's
I'll be at the games. You get some of these guys, and we watch officials, and someone will be behind you or something. And I'm thinking to myself, they don't understand between you knowing to get the ball in the middle and your team executing.
Yes.
It's night and day.
Night and day. And the great coaches somehow get that across. The word is demand. There's certain things you have to demand. And one of them in football is we are not going to beat ourselves in pre-snap penalties, or I call them stupid penalties, when the guy's 3 feet out of bounds.
Yeah, you pulverize.
Yeah, pulverize like you did something well.
See, you watch the Navy. They're not doing that.
No, that's why they're so hard to beat.
That's like Saturday. I saw that, and I'm thinking, I love their chances.
Oh, no.
Because I know two things for certain.
They're going to show up.
They're going to show up.
Yes.
And secondly, they're not doing any dumb stuff.
Never.
No tackling out of bounds.
And they're really good.
Yeah, no tackling out of bounds.
No, they never do.
None of this dumb stuff.
No, that's why we were so upset. I called George, and George said he even saw the Army doing it, making tackles and talking after making that. They never did that in their life.
Never did.
And so we.
And I said, hey, while you're on that theme, they're the worst they've ever been.
That's what I said. No, you took my words. We haven't discussed it.
No.
And we believe, and we're going to say it right now. He just said it, that the Army I saw building the program there, doing their thing, running it down your throat, not saying a word. Now they're chirping, and guess what? They're not near as good.
No.
So
Navy's clearly better than Air Force and Army again.
Yes. So what happens is this: don't say a word. Just go play and whoop somebody, and somebody else will tell you. Man,
boy, are you guys?
And so we'll tell.
What did Orgeron tell those Auburn linemen? You good?
Yes. They'll see it.
They know. He knows they're good. They don't have to walk around. I'm Mr. Big Shot.
And I texted George last night. George said George loved Navy against Notre Dame. And I said this is a perfect chance because Navy's that good. They are. And Notre Dame, after a big win, is probably going to be up thinking they're pretty good. It's a perfect chance for Navy to get them, no doubt about it.
How many quarterbacks have gotten worse at Notre Dame for playing for him?
That's what he does.
This kid's got worse. I don't know if it's the constant
I know that's part of it.
nagging.
Yeah, one of the things that we have a 20-year talk about is point guards and quarterbacks are two positions that
Be nervous.
you have to play relaxed.
If you make them twitch,
Oh, yeah.
we had a buddy that made a guy.
No question.
Can't play.
You can't play. There's no chance. Your point guard has to have the channel of thought that the coach has, and no way does Notre Dame quarterbacks have
And you have to be all in.
All in.
I heard a guy talking yesterday about Ezekiel Elliott. I said, listen, is he great? Obviously.
Right.
But he's not all in.
Well, he hasn't been all in
It's
all
a
year.
name. It's a name back here.
It'll always be that. It'll always be that.
And he's terrific.
Yes, it's the truth. But he's not
But
all
the
in.
minute they start going south or sour, he cashes out.
Yeah, that's when you want to see if they're all in or not. Let's talk about people all in right now. Playoff time.
Boo.
Poland's all in. 31-0 win over Struthers just a couple weeks ago or last week.
you
They
read it,
struggled.
Buck?
Yeah,
That tells me kudos to the Poland coaches and kids because
they rallied.
I don't know what happened, but they got better somehow.
Yeah, they did. So they won their first round playoff game. They whooped Struthers 31-0. 9-2 Poland now will play Wintersville, Indian Creek 10-1 in the playoffs. This time of year, as we say, get in and take your chances. I think I'll take my chance with Poland. Also, I'll take my chances with South Range. A 4-5 meet, supposed to be a close game. No siree. A 37 victory in their first playoff appearance since 2017. Michael Patron came in, had not played quarterback. You talk about a guy that stepped up as a 15 for 23 for 225 and a pair of touchdowns. When you don't play all year and you step up at quarterback, that leads to the 8-3 South Range into play. Kirkland, who's always been a juggernaut up and towards Cleveland. South Range will have to play their very best.
You know,
to win
that
one.
speaks to that kid's athletic ability to walk in, change pads or whatever, and just lead
truth.
the team. I mean, that's not easy.
Yeah, and he's played a lot of defensive back this year. You know, they called on him and said, listen, our starting quarterback went out, Isaac Allegretto. You got to give Isaac credit. They said as a senior, he stayed there all week, worked with Michael, and said, "This team first. Let me help you out." And anytime you have leaders that hang around and help in times of adversity, that's the teams that go on and win. Congratulations to Poland and South Range.
Both have a shot?
Poland has a better
Poland's
shot. South Range would be a major upset. Yeah, no question.
That's what I thought. Let's talk NCAA football. They smashed all the viewing records Saturday and everything. And what had happened, to some of you guys that don't follow it as closely, CBS had made a mistake earlier and made Notre Dame at night with Georgia. Had they not, that LSU game would have been a night game. As it turned out, it was 3:30. Didn't hurt the crowd any.
No,
But,
it's not going to hurt any. Not that game.
LSU over Alabama. You have to talk about this game. I wanted to just leave you some open space because it was so unlike a normal Alabama LSU game. Pounded, cloud of dust, rough. There was no defense. Or the offense was that good.
Yeah, they are, and that's not changing. I just had that talk today with a college. I talked to the college football coach today. He said, if your defense plays good, 35 points, he thinks. Think about that.
Really?
Yes.
You should win.
Yeah.
I mean, if you give a good 35, you did well.
Oh, yes. Well, we saw it. Alabama and LSU.
My Lord.
40s, 46, was that 40, 48, 45, 46, 43?
points, 95.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Speed limit.
And both of them didn't play great. So just think if they played all out
You
great.
know, I got to say this, too. I'm going to, I hate to say it. I'm going to slap myself. Alabama deserves to be that fourth team. I'm going to tell you why. If LSU's number one, and they'll continue to win out.
Right.
Georgia's 2 losses, they're gone.
Right.
You got Clemson, you got Ohio State. There's your 3.
Right.
Now your 4 is either going to be Oklahoma, Alabama, or the winner of the pack. If they can do that to the number 1 team with a gimpy
with you on
quarterback.
that.
In other words, I wouldn't have said that going in, but the more I thought about it, Tua was about 70%.
I'm with you on
Did
that.
you see him limping off?
yes.
And that opening play where he was sprinting and the ball
Changed the
just
whole game
squirted out
around.
of
No,
him.
it was a game.
I'm going to tell you right now, in another 9 weeks, he's not doing it.
Yeah, that game changed around, and George, we've done a great job of thinking alike today. The game changed around in one play, and it happened. Didn't happen in the fourth quarter. And Alabama's going in for a touchdown, and instead they get no points out of their first drive. In that game, as you watch the game develop, you couldn't give up points in any drive.
Because you're not going to stop.
Because nobody's stopping anybody.
Let's talk about Joe Burrow for a little bit. He went from Urban Meyer telling me threw like a girl.
Right.
He's first pick. If he's not, it's the defense guy for Ohio State. But
yes.
my point is, he's going to make a lot of money, and he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that the offensive change to LSU that has made with Joe Brady has been the greatest.
Oh, let me
greatest
be
change
Joe
ever.
Brady's agent, please.
Greatest.
Let
Oh,
me
yes.
be Joe Brady's
Name his
agent.
job.
Was he going to name his
29
salary?
years old. Think about
Is
that.
he going to name his salary?
Yeah, he's the next Lincoln Riley. They'll name his job. 29-year-old moves the ball up and down the field on everybody, and made Joe Burrow a
What did he make him? 30, 40 million.
Yeah, made him
without
multi-millionaire. No one knew who he was, including me.
No.
I thought he was just some
Remember, we have a
backup.
guy at call. He always says, Ohio State, because they're always quarterback heavy.
Right.
You know, and then this kid comes in, and if Fields isn't the greatest, then I'm
Right.
nuts. What about
Exactly.
Fields?
I know, especially
They were all in Georgia.
yes, they were all there.
Did they pick the best guy with Fromm? I can't tell you.
No, you don't know that, but I know this: they did some serious recruiting, some serious. Eason,
Kirby Smart.
Fields, and
You know,
Fromm.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to think I'm wacky. The more I see Eason, the less I like him.
How about that?
But Washington's whole team with me. I just saw them early, and I said, I'm going to give them a break. I'll wait till they put egg. Wait a minute.
Right.
Egg.
Right.
Too many eggs.
Yeah, they're not a devastating team, and it's hard to beat that. I don't think where Washington's located now. It's not like before. It's like Notre Dame. The kids that are growing up in California or Texas are not thinking, I'm going to go to Washington.
Yeah, let's go.
No, you know, they're getting 3 and 4 stars.
Let's go watch it rain.
Yeah, they're not getting. In the old days, they used to get the California kids. Not anymore.
Now, here's
Yes.
the game. Here's what I saw. I hate to say this. Rowed a boat. I thought he outcoached Franklin.
He probably did. I don't think there's any
I
doubt about
figure
it.
he's got a roster full of 3 stars.
Right.
Maybe a couple 3.5s. He got that one giant on the line. But Franklin is full of 4 and 4.5s.
Right.
By the way, I'm from around Penn State. They think next year's their national championship year because they're all back and they have Ohio State at home.
They must not have seen Ohio State play.
I didn't see them play.
Fields is still going to be there.
Fields, unless they do something. They kidnapped Fields on Friday night. But let's
Yes.
talk Minnesota. Ahead wire to wire. And then Penn State finishes. They're right down there. The end of the half was especially disturbing to me. They had a timeout in under a minute. It took them like 33 seconds to run a play. Then they they ground the ball, which people forget.
play up. Just give a
it
play
takes
up.
it down away. So now you only have 2 downs. You're in Canada.
Especially in a game like this, where every possession means something. You know it's
Yep.
going to. It's not.
Yep.
You're not playing Rutgers.
Yep.
You're playing a team that's going to beat you if you put do
Not
this.
Buffalo, not Idaho.
Right, and that it has something to do with the win too.
Good job,
And
Robert.
so Minnesota the Rowboat Man has them believing. There's no question about that. There's
And
never,
he parlayed it into a 7-year extension.
yeah, and there's never
all
a
those
game
open jobs.
that they don't think they're going to win late.
And let's say this about Minnesota. He didn't take over Rutgers.
No.
They had won 6 several times with the guy that had the convulsions.
Jerry
Kilm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here's what I want to talk about. Because there's a line on Saturday. There's a 50-plus point line. And
It's not enough.
I was talking to him last night, and he said, you know what? I
There's
said,
no
"Why?"
chance.
He said, I can't take that. I said, well, the thing
There's not a chance.
The thing you do know, they'll probably have to score 14 because they're going to score 70.
Rutgers can't
Is
score.
that the way you see it?
Rutgers can't score 14 against their 15 defense.
Then it's
No, I'm saying that they can't. They're just nervous in Vegas. They can't.
they'll
make,
shut it
they
off.
Can't
They'll put a circle.
They
on it or
have
something.
to. This because they cannot. They scored 73 on Maryland.
They put their backups in, people. I'm not lying. I'm watching, and that announcer, the old quarterback at Washington, they'll give the ball, and this guy will just go 77 yards. And he'll go, well, he said he was Mr. Ohio football. He's 6'3", 220. And I'm thinking, that other coach is looking and thinking, he's second
jeez.
string.
Yes.
And we don't have a guy on our roster that can do that.
No, they don't have it. No, and most of the Big Ten doesn't. Most of the Big Ten does not have any.
Does Ohio State Noah's Ark too of everything?
Yes. Quarterback would be the only one. I saw the Chesanoff, or how you say his name,
All right.
and he's decent, but he's not Fields.
But they'll have 2 years to get another one.
They'll
in.
get another one. Oh,
Unless
yeah, but I'm talking about
goes-
Fields go down.
No,
right now,
I got
there'll
you.
be other positions. There's no drop-off.
My eye test says Ohio State and LSU. I want to stay and see that game.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
They should be 1 and 2, so they don't play to the end. You agree?
Yeah, they shouldn't play to the
Okay.
end.
Oklahoma just hanging on again. There's something about Oklahoma they just refuse to cover. They will not guard.
Yes, it's the truth. And Lincoln Riley's all offense, total offense. They went out and hired a great defensive coordinator, changed it for about 6 weeks, and now they fall apart again. They can score on anybody, so they're dangerous against anybody. But as a big favorite, it's hard to take them.
Backdoor heaven.
They can give up points at the end of the game like no one else.
This guy at Iowa State, they sewed him up last year. They gave him a nice.
Yeah, they did. He got a big
because
big
he'd
salary.
be mentioned at Arkansas. He'd be mentioned at Florida State.
Right.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Clemson, I don't know. Somebody rattled that cage. Did you see that guy there? He didn't want to shake hands. Dabo's under a minute. He ran 3 plays.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
No, and that's what he does.
I went to look up his thing, and to write to him today that egos went to his head.
Yeah.
Never thought it would.
No.
I always thought he'd say humble,
But he doesn't sit in the ball.
I thought, but with 30 seconds left in the game,
You don't have to run 3 plays.
No.
That was my
I
thing.
can understand.
They were running to the
no,
line.
4 minutes. I get it. 30
Yeah.
seconds. You don't need that touchdown.
Take it.
I'm gonna find a place. I'm gonna write him.
Yeah.
That the Christian part he talks about.
Yeah.
That ego went to his head. He
left that out.
He left it out. He's leaving it out. Yeah. I'm gonna
That
get
guy
him.
didn't want to shake hands. And
I can
don't
see
blame
why.
him. I wouldn't shake hands.
What do you need an extra touchdown for?
Yeah.
I want to know what's so important about that
And I
extra
know
touchdown.
he would say, well, we were 5th, and, that's what he would say.
No, he said, I don't want to stop the kids from playing.
Oh, I get this.
No, with 4 minutes left, I get it. Not with 30 seconds.
No, you have to run 3 plays under a
No,
minute.
no.
No, I agree. Just awful. I mean, what do you say about that? Georgia needs to win out. Their thing is clear. Win out.
Well, they can. That's what I'm saying.
They play Auburn yet, right?
Yeah, this week.
Okay.
No, they can. No, they can. And they can. And they can. When I say they can, if they do, they're going to be in the playoffs.
The kicker, the fly in the ointment would be if Georgia beats LSU.
Yeah.
Now do you bump LSU out or do you?
Oh, they're going to bump LSU out if Georgia beats them.
No, only Alabama doesn't get bumped down.
Yeah. No. What? No. LSU might still be in, but Georgia's definitely in. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, if they win.
Yeah.
No,
if
you win the
right?
SEC. Oh
yeah.
no.
Yes.
No.
That's why Georgia still controls their destiny completely.
You're a Troy.
And they're the best defense of the bunch playing.
Yeah.
Of all the teams playing.
Now, how about let's
they're best
talk
defensively.
Pac-12? Some about Utah. By the way, we said it
We like
opening.
Utah.
We love Utah all year. They had that hiccup at Southern Cal.
It's hard to win at Southern Cal. That's why you got to give.
Helton.
No, the team who just beat them last week. I'm blank. Oregon. That's why you got to give Oregon credit.
No, they did.
Oregon went and whooped them at Southern Cal. They whooped them.
Yeah,
whooped them
that
good, yes.
surprised me.
Yeah.
Oregon's very good. Without that loss to Auburn, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But they need them both to win out the Pac-12. If one of them would stub their toe and then they're both out.
I would think. I looked at the schedules. There's no reason why they can't.
Oregon State's not good enough. They'll be geeked enough, but they're not.
They can't be. Both those teams are better. They're going to win out. I still don't think they're getting in. I have a feeling that they're not going to get in.
If you're a one-loss team, you're hoping for chaos.
I can see Alabama. Georgia described it. That they're going to go nuts again. They're going to see that Alabama's the 4th team again.
Yeah, it won't make anybody happy out of the South, but if you go by history, if you go by how they step up, and if you go by Tua being hurt, and if you're fair, they supposedly don't look at league or conference or anything.
Yeah, their schedule's weak. I know schedule is weak this year. Oregon did play Auburn.
Yeah.
And off in the.
That's what they're going to slap Baylor for. If Baylor would
Once
happen,
again, the same thing again
if
for
Baylor
Baylor.
would win Oklahoma's league,
Right.
watch what happens.
Baylor does it again.
They're going to give them the old TCU treatment.
They are.
I hate to say that.
They deserve it though. They didn't play anybody else.
Now, Arkansas, they can't watch any longer. They play a group of 5 team, whatever they call that second level. They didn't get beat. We're looking last week, I said, generally, we won SEC. Like I've seen Missouri play the MAC or something, 41 at half.
Right.
But Al had thought, he said to me, they've given up, they've quit. Now, Jerry Jones the 5th was the quarterback. And he didn't exactly show me that
how about
he
the
was
quarterback
showing
on Western Kentucky was Arkansas's quarterback?
it.
That's what's funny.
You don't think he wanted that game?
Yes, and he ran for like
Stories,
yeah,
his
he
name.
killed him. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what, now,
They fired him.
fire him the next day.
So they got Florida State open and Arkansas.
Now let's
open.
talk, I want to talk about Florida State because I got insulted. I got salty, I'll admit it on Twitter. Does Deion Sanders?
No chance.
He has
They hire him
no
as it's a joke.
idea the time. Like you got buddies that coach football. They're near divorced.
All of them.
They have little or very little relationship with their children.
None.
They miss all the events.
All of them.
And this guy, because he had his hat on backwards at the Under Armour All-Star game.
Yes.
Now, I've coached those All-Star games. They're as much about like coaching as sitting in the plane is like flying it.
Yeah, that's the truth. And what hurts is, and George said it casually to me on the phone, there's a chance he could go 12-0 because he'll get all the players in.
I said his son's the best quarterback.
Then they'll hire
Get Ed
Brady.
Reed, Ed Reed,
They'll get Brady.
Ed Reed to do the defense.
They'll get Brady.
Get Brady to do the offense.
That's what I said.
It doesn't matter who.
No, they'll get the coordinators that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
That's why I didn't rule it out anymore. I ruled it out on merit.
Oh, yeah, merit, he's a minus.
Yeah.
He's a minus
But
on merit.
I didn't rule it out on, because you know what he's selling them with.
Everybody in Florida.
Here's my staff.
Yeah. Everybody in Florida will come to come with him, and then he'll hire the two best coordinators in the country. Because Florida State gives out money.
So he could
they'll
do
pay
it.
money.
So he could do it.
He could be successful.
They
yes.
raised $20 million to buy this guy out in 4 hours.
Yeah, it's a joke. But
Private money.
But merit-wise, he does not deserve it at all.
Let's talk NCAA hoops. They let the big boys tip it off last week, and then the little boys are playing as time goes on. Duke, Kansas, Michigan State, Kentucky. It's way too early for me, but I can tell you this. Those 4 are good.
Yeah, you don't have to say much about that. But two different ways. Duke, Kentucky, very young, all walk-on, 5 stars.
Yeah, 5-star,
And-
one and done.
And Kansas and Michigan State a little older. It's going to be, by the end of the season, those 4 teams will be somewhere in the final 16. There'll be a lot of teams to beat because none of them are like UCLA's old teams or like they're all beatable. But it's going to take somebody good to beat them.
Yeah. League games in the ACC.
I hate that.
Boeheim. Oh, I had to get him some.
What if he
clean.
worked on his offense at all?
Does he run any plays
34
at all?
points,
or
so he had
pattern?
34?
Yeah. Now, he's crying like Virginia had 3 years to get ready, and he only had, in other words, they all had league games, Jimmy.
Same amount of time.
Same amount of time. Normally, his MO is 8 games in the Carrier Dome.
He's done it forever.
1 game to Madison Square Garden,
Right.
then right back to the Carrier Dome.
what he's done forever.
And he's 13-1.
He's done it forever, and we've watched him play forever. He's a sly dude, runs his 2-3 zone, just goes one-on-one on offense. It's always worked. But he stepped into a guy that knows how to play defense. And they had no idea how to score points.
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett, yep.
Yep, I agree with you. One more item. I'm looking on Twitter last week, and Pitt, who, by the way, had 14 points in 15 minutes, they got a guy shooting arrows. I wanted to
You
jump
told me that,
through
it
the
was so
screen.
disgusting.
So I'm looking, I'm like, geez, 14 points in 15 minutes, and you're shooting arrows. So this guy goes, oh, they're set to Louisville. He goes, they don't have a tough game. I'm looking Kansas State. I thought, I know you've never seen Kansas State play. That go with the gray hair strip.
Yes, Weber can coach.
And Nichols is in KR's league. By the way, they are at Vanderbilt tonight. They're on the SEC network.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
We'll see them on the bench.
I'm looking. Lamar.
Always good teams.
All these
Always.
teams in the Southland. It's in Louisiana. You know how many players are in Louisiana?
Always, a million of them.
And this guy goes, for Pitt, I said, didn't he beat Nebraska?
They did
earlier
beat
in the
Nebraska
week?
bad. Nicole State, by the way, Nicole State right now is 2-0. They beat Nebraska and Pitt. George, I didn't even know. I said, George, did you see the score this afternoon? I was out with my grandkids. No, he said, oh, I started laughing. Yeah. I said, they shooting those arrows.
Shooting arrows. 14 points, 15.
Shooting those arrows.
I'd have run out and
might
pulled
have
them
spent
off.
more time a little bit getting ready for Nickel State
Shooting
than shooting arrows.
Shooting arrows.
Yes.
You saw it. I know you. Local T-Span, I guess Pitt's opening up Robert Morris's new
supposed to be really nice.
Field house.
I had a coach who went down and watched Robert Morris practice.
Give these people a little tip. They won in Youngstown's league, I heard. Then I heard some other league. They just don't.
They have to be one to do what they did.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Cowboys beating Albert. I'm not a rooter or a fan.
Right.
But man, do I like to see Jerry Jones' team. There's something about when they show
he
that.
makes it easy.
When they show that booth and his team's behind.
No other booth. They don't show booths. Him and Kraft. That's only two owners they show all the time.
Dude with a big nose in Atlanta.
I don't want to see.
What's his name? Arthur
No, they don't
Blank.
show Arthur anymore.
Not as
either.
much as that.
No, those two are out there
Jerry
all the time.
Jones is like, but wait a minute. What GM has a press conference after every game?
He does. He doesn't learn.
Imagine being the clapper.
He hasn't learned.
But the clapper has to go.
He hasn't learned.
I heard the clapper, those phones he has on are like serious. It's just music. You know how the dentist's office, they say, what music do you want on when they clean your teeth?
They used to say it about Art Shell. He used to have Fisher-Price toys.
Yeah.
Now they're saying about Garrett. No question. He ain't going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it this time.
No, the clapper.
I don't think he's going to be going.
Because you know what Lincoln Rallies,
I don't think
Jerry
he's
Jones.
Oh, yes.
He'll be his
what
newest
he's thinking.
toys. Green Bay hangs on. Boy, did they give Carolina a call? They sacked Rodgers in the end zone. Called roughing the quarterback. They said the guy fell on him. The guy turned sideways completely and missed him. Gave them a
Doesn't it make you
first
so
down.
disgusting?
Now, it would have been at least punting from, if not a save.
Yes.
And they would have had to punt from behind.
Referees control the game so much these days. You can't, George, I didn't complain yesterday once, but George has heard me complain before that every time a touchdown scored, you got to hold your breath and think.
Did his knee hit 1 millisecond? And they got these old guys watching it, doing the best they can.
Third down conversions, third incomplete. And then the announcer will say, oh, there's a flag on the other side of the field. You're thinking, no, they're going to call something again.
Yeah, we're not, no.
They control
This
the game
was
so
the
much.
biggest gift I've seen in Green Bay. That poor guy for Carolina.
But was he looking like amazed?
He couldn't believe it. And the guy was like, because they showed the replay of the guy grabbing him and falling sideways, so he didn't
So he wouldn't hurt him.
crush him.
Yes.
But the guy's thinking, I should have crushed him.
If I'm going to get called for
If I'm going
right?
to get 15,
Yes.
at least let me have the fun of doing it. I used to tell my girlfriends when I was younger. They blamed me for something. I said, at least I could have the fun of doing it. I mean, I'm getting blamed for
I'm gonna
things
get
I don't do, and I didn't do it anyway. At least let me have the fun of doing it. I'm going to get blamed, right?
That's good.
Steelers defense. When did you think you'd be saying, this defense is good?
I said it 4 weeks ago, and Eddie made fun of me.
No, I didn't.
I said, I think they're going to make the playoffs. And he said,
Yeah,
Eddie laughed
playoffs.
at me.
You're like,
and I thought because their defense is that good, they can rush the passer.
Yeah.
They can rush the
How about
passer.
the turnover?
I just don't know if they can make it because their offense is so pathetic.
never seen that bad. Why don't
Yeah.
you just roll them underhand instead of passing?
And like
Now,
you said, you're trying to figure out if the plays are called,
Yeah.
or he just throws 2 yards all the
In
time.
other words, I can't envision an offense where every guy's 5 feet away.
Every pass.
Every pass is a check down.
It is.
Or
And in college, you threw the ball down the field like crazy.
Yeah,
Rudolph did it for, I don't, maybe the game's too fast for him. I don't know what's happening, but their offense, it's hard to win games every
Jets
game.
beat
like
the
that.
Giants. That takes a little pressure off that Gates. How about they have 1 yard,
Barkley.
and he's a star.
Yeah, that's why you have to have offensive line play. We talked about it on the radio show.
And then
Nothing means nothing. You don't have
Let's talk
line
Cleveland
blocking.
and Buffalo. If there's a mistake, Browns will make it. If it's
Over and
too
over.
many, not enough.
Over and over.
Now, they got Pittsburgh Thursday
lucky.
night. And I look at that talent, and I know they're better in
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
they are.
At
They
home,
are.
without a doubt, I think, but I don't trust them.
No one does. How can you trust them? 8 plays from the 2-yard line. 8. And don't get a touchdown. I've heard 3. I've heard 5.
Yeah. No.
8. And he didn't kick a field either one of them. He kept going.
He doesn't. He's completely.
Oh, Freddie.
However they hired him, they should look back.
Yeah,
and
they
say,
do. They have
"We
players. They
can't
have
do
good
it."
players.
Miami, no one's done better.
Yeah,
than
he got a chance to
The
coach the
team
year.
said they were losing on purpose. Now their last 4 games, 1 point with the Redskins,
great.
beating Buffalo the whole game, beating Pittsburgh the whole game, and then 1-2 more.
Yes. Can't give them credit.
No, the guy.
They're playing.
When they say they're trying to lose.
Yep, they're playing.
Real quickly, we have about a minute left. Nolan Ryan out in Houston, his son demoted, something going on. NBA, bad publicity over this low management.
I'm one of them.
You hate it.
Yeah, I'm just one of them because I have grandkids, and I like to go see the Cavs. And I can't buy a ticket because I'm worried that whoever they want to see won't play because they're tired.
And we both are tired of seeing the officials.
Yes.
We're tired.
We talked about that already.
Guy at Miami got in trouble. He ate some edible cannabis. They're trying to figure out who gave it to him.
Waiters, yeah.
He just got suspended. It cost him over $1 million.
Yeah, not too smart.
Not too smart at all. And I just say this about the football coaches: misuse of the clock, misuse of the timeout.
They need somebody to hire.
It's a runaway epidemic. The basketball people, in their defense, handle the end of the game a lot
Much better, yes.
Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. See you next week.